right now. To stop right now. Turns out it's been too long to. Camera. Hello. I found a new game. Me playing new game. No. Barely visible. There we go. What? 4. I'm just gonna put 50. What? It's PM. Okay. Ugh. You ready? Why is my face cam not working?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hello.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-wrenching, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley's a nerd.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong.
I don't care.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
This
he
is
had
kind of
simply
too loud
missed
for
a
me.
memo.
Okay. Where's the meeting room? I'm just gonna follow the open doors.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Which one do I go? Which one's left? Chat, left is this way, right? Or it's this. Shit, my stupidity's coming towards me. Which one do I go in? Okay. Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
You liar! You liar! You
Perhaps he wanted
liar!
to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, let's go.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
There's an elevator. Okay, I'm just gonna do that later.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I'm not gonna go down there. We're gonna wait for it because I think you can play this multiple times. Hello, boss?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Ooh.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
What happens if I put in the wrong
He stepped
code?
into the newly opened passageway.
Do I? Oh! Wait, there's an option to go up. That's probably for. Okay.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley
Okay, what are we
realized
doing
he
now?
felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Which one do I go to? What do I do? What do I do? Do I go to mind control facility? Oh, me only one watch. Monkey, bro. Escape, okay.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Wait, what? Okay, let's escape, let's escape.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Wait, do I keep on? Nah, it has to be a lie.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead. I will not die. There's no fall damage in this game, right? Is there fall damage? No, no,
As the
no!
machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer
Please!
to his demise, he
Please!
reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story.
I
Trapped
can
forever
crouch!
in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death
Can I
was
jump?
no great loss.
I know how to
Nothing
crouch now.
worse from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Please, no!
Farewell, Stanley.
Please! I did nothing!
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Wait.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you
1 second, I'm gonna
now?
go on mute.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Okay. My mom called me. Okay. Let's read this. Oh. What's this? Office computers. The 2 doors. Oh, that's the last. I think we start off here, then we go office layout, corridor. Okay, now what? Now what do I do? Oh, I like that one. So if I wasn't let off, if I did go the right way, what's this? Okay, what do I do? How do I pause? Okay. So because I want to my violent death.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. So we know where to go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase,
We already did the
Stanley
boss
walked
and
upstairs
then
to his boss's office.
Let's see what this is.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Is this
None of
infinite?
it made any logical sense. And as
It
Stanley
can't be.
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on
No.
a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
I don't like
It was
that.
so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
When does this end?
That this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to
I don't
wake
want to.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
I
The
can
press
still walk.
of the mattress on his back. The fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
What the fuck? What the frick?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What the What the frick?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What? Yo, is anyone watching? Is anyone watching?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. So we already went. I think that's everything
When
you could
Stanley
do.
came to a set of two
That
open
isn't
doors,
everything.
He entered the door on his left.
Okay, we're gonna finish everything on this side of the room. Real quick.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Bro! Am I gonna have to sit through with, can I turn off the music settings? Am I gonna have to sit through this for a few
Feeling
minutes?
soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Okay, I thought I was gonna have to sit there for like 10 minutes just listening to that. Let's hope that's not copyrighted. Let me out.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
We already went that
Facility.
way and we died, I think.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
Can I run?
television
Can I
screens.
jump?
What horrible secret
Can I
did
please
this
jump?
place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
Hi!
to find out?
Me not playing Roblox right now. Yippee! What does this do?
Now the monitors jumped to life.
What the f-
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Yippee! Yee-hoo!
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Oh, this is
Had
behind.
Stanley really
I just
been
noticed
under
that my
someone's
phone,
control all this time?
when I was watching,
Was
is
this the
behind.
only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to
Where's
accept
Doug
it
going?
blindly?
Go.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ah!
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What do we do? Off or on? Off or on? What do we do? Do your guys' opinion? Off or on? Off or on? Press. I can only press one. Sadly. If I could press both, I would. Ooh, can I jump? Let me out, let me out, let me out. I feel like on is the one that we're not supposed to press to follow the story. So we follow story. Hello.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had
let me go.
defeated the machine.
This is what happened. My
My
controller's doing that thing again.
Moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles
I don't like
still
that.
lay unsolved.
Ooh,
Where
me
had
walk
his
towards.
coworkers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
I thought I fell.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but
Can
to
I just
let go.
I don't like. I want to
No
see
longer
where
would
I'm
anyone
walking.
tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
You're in Truman. Oh my God.
Stanley felt
I
the
love
cool
that movie,
breeze
bro.
upon his skin.
I love that movie.
The feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
I've watched it
This
twice,
was
but still,
exactly
it's like a
the way,
W movie.
Right now, that things were meant to happen.
Can I go?
And
I'm about to get
Stanley
shot. I'm about to
was
get
happy.
shot, I swear. Is that the end? I win. I win. Beat the game. I got to beat the end. I got my oh,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
okay. So we went through everything on that side. Now we go over here.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct
No,
way
no,
to
no,
the
no.
meeting room, and
This
Stanley
is
knew
my
it
like
perfectly
that
well.
I played it in
Perhaps he
like a
wanted to
few
stop
different
by the
times. I
employee
played it a
lounge
few different
first,
times.
just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Do I just step on this?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is...
Can
that
I
the
walk off
story has
this?
been about nothing... Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now,
No.
listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Do I follow it? What do I do? Okay.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth
I go
ruining
back?
the entire story I had written
Can
out
I go back?
specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a
PS5.
spin.
Look, we're going for the...
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh. New door.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect.
No.
Let me boot it up.
What am I gonna play now? What am I
In
doing?
this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
No!
Click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a
Do I
very
save him?
meaningful game. All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
I don't wanna-
think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Okay. Can I just let him die? I'm letting him die. Die! Die!
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
It's gonna put me up to
Let's see.
Call of Duty. It's gonna put me up to Call of Duty. It's gonna put me up to
This
Call of
seems
Duty.
like it'll work.
I
Let's
want
give
Call
it a
of Duty.
shot.
I want Call of Duty.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What
This
a
is actually-
fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more.
Bro, they just gave me a
Venture
W
outward and see
game.
what else is out there.
Minecraft door opening sound. How do I spy? How do I spy? What do I do? Okay, what do I do now? There's no down. Oh, there's down. Okay. Can I just walk around this or? No. Let me go. I didn't notice the down. Let me go. I walked through something. Oh, I thought I could jump.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find
Call of Duty?
another game.
Call of Duty?
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Call of Duty? Call of Duty? Call of Duty? Call of Duty?
Okay.
Call of Duty? Call of Duty? Call of Duty? Please?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Oh
Just
my
a
God,
nice
we're
big
playing
box
Rocket
you can
League.
run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
No way they can.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
This is Call of Duty! This is... I go fast!
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Hold on. What are you doing?
I found it.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
What the frick? I don't like this. I should have just stayed in Rocket League. I don't like this. Can I go back to Rocket League now? I'm sorry.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice.
Can I go
and
back?
If he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon.
Yap.
I can wait.
Hello. Hello. Okay. It just restarted me.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
5:28.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley
Nuh-uh.
took the first open
Nuh-uh.
door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years
We're
ago.
going up that way. Or we
Look,
can...
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
We're not going that
I'm
way
not
again.
your
We're not going
enemy,
that way
really, I'm
again.
not. I realize that investing in your
Oh, wait.
trust in
We
someone
need to see
else
what's
can be
behind the red
difficult,
door.
But the fact is that the story has been... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced
What's
that I
behind
want
the red
something
door?
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Wait, can I go through
Stanley
the white
walked
door?
Through the red door.
No.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's
isn't it?
beautiful.
If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy. No.
Enough of that.
Wait. Where are you going?
Enough of that. I'm done with that.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
What if I wanted to do all along? Ah!
Oh, thank God. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Because I don't want to go through this.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it?
What if I put in UK? Will they just start going, oi,
being
bruv,
happy?
bruv, we're playing,
Situation correctly. Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us
Stanley,
to get
I
along.
want to die.
But
I
I
want
guess
to
that
die.
was too much to ask.
I want to die.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well,
What happens
this
if
one
I go
is yours.
back? I already have, like, basically broken feet, so... Can I go back now? I regret this.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Oh no!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I survived.
Stanley
I
decided to go
survived.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Roblox.
missed a memo.
Okay, so we know what's behind the red door now. We just go through door. Yippee!
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yippee! Let's go this way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, what does this say? Oh no!
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on
Wait.
the wrong foot here.
That's
I'm
open.
not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Do I jump?
realize that investing your trust
I'll
in
try
someone
that.
else
I'll
can
try
be
that
difficult,
after I go
but the
through this.
fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Shut up.
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Can I go this way?
I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who's
She's
her?
been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be
It's
the
her?
one to...
Hello? 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 Who is it? Hello? Hello?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want
bet
you to come in and tell me all about
I bet you.
Gotcha. Oh,
No!
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who'd want to
Ellie-
commit their life
Oh,
to you?
I
I'm
don't.
trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come
Yippee, I
inside.
don't have a loving
Let
wife.
me show you what's really going on here.
Is that him? Or something?
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No. I have to.
But
Don't
in
I?
his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown.
Yo,
Fantastic
BBG.
discoveries of new lands.
Are you?
It was wonderful. And each day that he returned
Whoa,
to
I
work
did not mean to
was a
crouch down
reminder
like
that
that.
none of it would ever happen to
My
him.
question is, can you crouch down like that? Oh, I can watch
And
TV.
so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined
I wonder
that
if you
one
can
day
crouch
while at
down
work,
like that.
He stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought
Yo,
excited
oh wait,
him
1 second.
terribly.
Let me find.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with
Are you-
monitors
what
and
the
mind controls. And down
Are you
another was a
water?
yellow
Because
line
I'd
that
die
lead in
without.
many directions.
Because I'd die
And down
without
another was
you.
a game with a baby, and he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful
Can I leave now?
fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again.
Are you
over
Ja-
and over, wishing
is your
beyond
name
hope that it
Jasmine?
would never end, that he might
About the
always
jazz.
feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I
But there
love
is
you.
no answer.
What the f?
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he
Where-
spends
where-
here,
where
the
did my
more
wife go?
invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Can I go now?
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I
Yippee.
get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps... well,
I want to see
maybe
what's
this
behind
time
this
you'll
door.
see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
What happened? Okay, let's go this way. Ooh.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Okay. Did I get through every...
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Where am I going? Am I playing Call of Duty? Am I playing Call of Duty?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Can I... No.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling
What is
new
happening?
Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I'm definitely not gonna die. Can I go?
Is it broken? What's going on here?
How do I jump?
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Jump. 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 Jump.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as
Guys,
if the...
remember to jump
Oh,
on an
okay.
elevator.
Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right. All right, let's see it. The jump circle?
Can I want to jump.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
For real,
If it's new
bro.
content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? You know, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally. It's my fault, Stan.
Oh my
I built up
God!
Too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back
The
to what
Twitter
the
joke
Stanley
is
Parable
W.
really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
No. What the this isn't what the game normally looks like.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Ooh.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences
Peak.
like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched?
Yes.
Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Me. You. I don't know.
And over here,
Ooh, is that
very
poop?
reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism.
Oh, no,
10
that's-
out of
that's
10
rocks.
From Destructoid.com.
Those are rocks.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created."
I think.
Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Don't tell me I have to go through this for an hour. Persona! Do I go through, let's go, what do I go through? Disturbing the peace! Do I go through this or? Down, okay. Oh. Oh, remember when I went through the red door and blue door and he got mad at me?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't
basically
need
is the
new
same, bro.
content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? See, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
Unfunny!
I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
Can I get crushed by
You can't know
this?
how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Wah wah.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Wait, can I turn can I turn him down? Bro, you could turn down.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Actually, I want him at 100.
This is the story of a man... A skip button. Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto.
Skip!
I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Stanley, it's been 10 years!
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret.
I don't want to hear his monologues. Hello? Hello?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences.
I just heard him. I don't think he's dead.
The end is never the end, 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 the end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
We'll just we'll sit and listen to this for another 10 minutes.
Is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never.
Nope, nope, nope. Can I escape? Aww, it's beautiful. One last. Hello? There has to be a way out, right? Okay, I don't like that. Open! Open! Stop! Hello? Can I hit it again? Can I hit it again? Can I jump on it? This used to be water, bro. I missed the narrator. R.I.P., bro. It's never the end, never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, we don't go to new content.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the
Yay!
door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Well, from here it's
Yeah?
left.
Cool.
Oh no, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly. Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute?
Boyfriend is here. My mom's boyfriend is here, and I don't know what to do.
Let's
So I
see,
scream
we
and
went
go
down,
up.
right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay. Yes, I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Ooh.
No,
Bro, I'm just...
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay. We go back to
All
Rocket
his
League.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
I want
to
to
go
test
the
one more
meeting
thing.
room.
I want to
Perhaps
test
he had
one more
simply
thing,
missed a
though.
memo. When Stanley... Wait.
What?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Do I really have to do this? Oh, I really screwed up, didn't I? I found the story.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could
it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No! Dang it.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Can I go through here? No. Nope. Look.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't
Yes.
think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
No.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Oh my god.
All right,
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Oh no.
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
This isn't the right way. Your opinion. You do you. You do
see,
you.
The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. Did you just write a new story?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Firm.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own. Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the Adventure Line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story?
How about a
Something
game?
Exciting, daring, mysterious.
Hear me out,
Ooh,
hear me out.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
How about we play a game that's called, how about we play
Now,
Rocket League?
Yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go
Rocket
wild.
League.
Use your
Rocket League.
imagination. Whatever it
Rocket
might be,
League.
Stanley.
Call of
I'm
Duty.
ready for it.
Call of Duty. Call of Duty and Rocket
Oh,
League.
no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Call of Duty.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
Open.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Oh my
Are
god.
you telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Bro,
No,
I
it
did.
can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
It stopped.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you... How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize
Do I
that
go
investing in
down
your
there or
trust
do I
in
go
someone else
this
can be
way?
difficult, but the fact is that the story is... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm colorblind.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
I'm
Stanley
colorblind.
walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to
I'm
know so
colorblind.
badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see?
Call of Duty.
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I'm gonna see what
You
happens
see,
in
I
Rocket
knew I
League.
was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well,
Wait
it's
till
instinct
Rocket
mostly,
League.
a
No.
calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
My, why can I not? Oh my god. The game broke. The game broke. Oh, we have to restart.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story is...
No!
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I regret jumping off of that.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Hi, Steve, I'm going
Perhaps
insane.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I need to get back to Rocket League World.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Wait, I'm colorblind. Jack, which one's red?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
You were doing the right one.
Oh, I was? Okay.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley? All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
We never saw what's behind the red door because I just jumped off that side of the...
Because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Please turn that
You
down.
might think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What
Guns.
did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels
Okay, let's go
weeks ahead
through
of
the
where we
third
were
door.
before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
So which one do I go for? Which one do I go for? I think I went for this one last time. Okay,
Now,
okay,
would you
okay.
say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on.
We're getting to Rocket
Now
League.
would be
We're getting to
another
Rocket League.
opportunity
We're
to
getting
give it
to
some
Rocket
playtesting.
League. We're getting
You
to
wouldn't mind
Rocket
taking
League.
a look at it, would you?
We're getting to Rocket League.
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he
Rocket
reaches the fire, you
League.
fail. It's a
We
very
are
meaningful game, all about the
excited
desperation and
for
tedium of
Rocket
endlessly confronting the
League.
demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game
My
only
phone's
becomes
gonna
clear
die.
once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Die, die, die.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done.
It's right there. It's not dead.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's
It's
game?
gone.
Just to ease
It's
the
not.
pain.
It's dead.
Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Stop playing copyrighted music.
What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? But it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man.
Hashtag-
spying on innocent
hashtag
civilians
stop
below you from
playing
up high in
copyrighted
your
music.
precinct, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes.
Can I
that
like
must
turn
be
off my mic?
a
Yeah, I can.
fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Is that the game? Fears to Fathom Iron Brock.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
I'm sneaking. He won't see me.
It's an open world game. Good
Run.
God, quickly block it
Run.
off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close
Can I-
call. I really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Rocket League. Rocket League. Rocket League. Rocket League. We're getting to Rocket League.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
My brother. Yippee!
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Yippee!
Just a nice big
Yippee!
box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
Yippee!
Stanley, if you manage to
Rocket
get lost in this
League!
game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly
Which
do
goal
we do
should
here?
we score on?
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yes.
Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls.
Oh my God, we get more.
More euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Yippee!
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
This is Steve's dream. Yippee! We're scoring, everyone.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over.
No!
That's right. Your little fun
No!
comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
What do I do? Okay, so, because we finished Rocket League, I don't know what to do now. I think I have to jump into the goal, but I might just die. What do we do? Do we try? I hear a car. Okay, okay. Can I go in here? No. There's arrows pointing. Where? Where's the China flag? Oh, there's a bunch of flags. I'm trying to look. Do I try to just jump? That one looks empty. I'm looking at the other one. Okay, if I die, it's Alex.
What are you doing?
If I die, it's Alex's fault.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Same thing as last time. Okay, I'm going the wrong way. La 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 la. Bye. I think I got every ending, not gonna lie. I can't think of anything else to do. Bye bye, see you later. Have a good rest of your night. There's actually one thing I haven't done. Hello?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends,
Steve,
after
go
it
to
all
sleep
comes to a close,
if you want.
then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do I go back in here?
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense.
Yeah, I did that, I did that.
We take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable
2.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so
I don't
many
think you want to leave
possibilities.
yet.
It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Do I go up here?
A common complaint
Dang
of the
it!
Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions
Gimme.
of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes,
Bad word.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
I know.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should
like
be an
this
award
bucket.
if it isn't already. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Oh,
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Yes,
If
I am.
so, then please step forward and press
Oh,
the
man.
button.
Oh, there's a. Oh, wait, wait. I'm thinking. How do I do a country accent? How do I do a country accent? Look at this. My name's Jim.
Yes, you see? What
That's
a thrill,
my
what a
name.
rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
It said my name.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the
Yup,
only new
yup.
feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll cut... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Which one? Which one? Chat, which one? Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, or get well someday? Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Never mind. I wanted to jump. That's not fair.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Do I do it? Help, help. I don't want to do this no more.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
Help,
now then,
I don't want to do
since
this
you've
anymore.
gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why should I?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated
What?
the infinite nature of the hole.
Okay.
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
Wait, is that the
From
ground?
one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely?
Me.
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you
No.
even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Okay, I gotta go. I might make a part 2 and like find some more stuff. So thank you for watching. Unofficial Logan out.